Avatar: The Last Airbender originally debuted on television in 2005, we had no idea about the turbulent production process it underwent. As a mostly adult audience, we fans considered it to be one of the best TV series ever. Let's dive deeper. To create the masterwork, Brian Konietzko and Michael Dante DiMartino undertook a difficult journey. Even though the program is now regarded as a classic, it had several difficulties in its production that nearly changed its score. It's amazing to see how the show's success wasn't always certain as we look back on the road. Its enchantment was almost entirely lost in the process of creation. The same material that gives Avatar its current magical quality teetered on the verge of change. However, the creators persisted in the face of adversity, and as a result, is a show that appeals to all age groups. The first series wasn't the end of the difficulties. The franchise suffered a setback with the disastrous live-action adaptation, The Last Airbender. As an adaptation developed, we fans shuddered. It was a problematic and diverse project from the beginning. A shadow of disillusionment continued to hang over Avatar's legacy. But even in the face of this loss, our love remained unquenchable. Fans are excited by the news that the original creators will be producing a live-action adaptation for Netflix. It appears that the popularity of Avatar is an internal flame since they are coming back to weave the enchantment they once did. Fans can't help but wonder what new dimensions they plan to bring to our beloved planet. We must not overlook Konietzko and DiMartino's audacious decision with Legend of Korra. They encountered opposition and criticism for their daring decisions when they tried to carry on the story. The audience's conflicted reactions to the departure from the original highlighted the difficulties of adapting a story to satisfy a devoted following while maintaining its integrity. However, it is evidence of their dedication to adding to the intricate fabric of the Avatar universe. Konietzko and DiMartino, the creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender, didn't exactly throw a lavish red carpet event for their live-action film. As a matter of fact, it was immediately apparent that they were not very enthusiastic about it. DiMartino revealed their distaste for the film, saying that if he had to go ahead, they would prefer to be in charge of the direction it took. Regretfully, the involvement of M. Night Shyamalan destroyed that dream. After initially giving assistance and eventually coming to an agreement, the founders made the decision to pull back. The trip wasn't smooth from the beginning. Then there's the long-standing ship controversy between Katang and Zatara, which used to split the Avatar fan base. Supporters sharply disagreed about whether Katara should choose Zuko or Aang as her partner. In the end, Katara and Aang prevailed despite the continuous debates. But Nickelodeon made a mistake that threw Zatara fans into a tailspin. False claims that were made by the network's extra that Zuko was supposed to be Katara's romantic interest. DiMartino and Konietzko quickly put an end to that notion, stating it was never their aim. Nevertheless, despite the creators' denial, Zuko and Katara's voice actors, Mae Whitman and Dante Basco, sparked controversy on Twitter by stating their opinion that the two characters ought to have ended up together. It appears that their voices voicing the characters are still fanning the Zatara flame. Who could forget Toph, the fierce blind earthbender who won over the hearts of the fans? Well, Toph almost assumed another form entirely. Toph was originally intended to be a tough, brazen, blind teenage boy. However, head writers made a recommendation that led to Toph's gender reassignment. After first resisting the altercation, Konietzko eventually warmed up to Toph, who is now one of the favorite characters. It was a brilliant move to have her as a small 12-year-old kid who fights large wrestler-type guys. From a maybe overdone tough guy, Toph became a cherished and distinctive character in the Avatar world. One of the reasons Avatar is so amazing is that it doesn't hesitate to delve deeply. They deal with serious topics like loss and conflict, which you wouldn't expect in a children's program. However, chief writer Aaron Ahez clarified that they didn't want to depict children as though they were stupid. Their desire was to honor their intelligence. You can't just simplify everything for youngsters, Aaron added. Not even 10 or 11-year-olds will believe that. They're looking for realistic content. Therefore, the entire process of creating the show focused on telling a story that would not only resonate with young people, but also linger with them as they get older. Aaron made a comment about crafting a narrative with empathy rather than fabricating fiction to make it more palatable. They didn't want to sugarcoat things, and what they stated is still true. Isn't that intense? However, as you may know, producing a program isn't always easy. They had a big idea in the beginning where Aang was meant to herd a herd of bison, a herd of buffalo. However, one of the creators, Brian Konietzko, was like, where do we even fit all these gigantic animals every episode? They had to reduce it so that only Appa, the bison that can fly. And here's the thing, Appa was originally going to have enormous spiral horns, but the idea was abandoned as they would be difficult to animate. man, budget, and animation restrictions. When it comes to characters, Zuko is the one who truly brought the show to life. The core of the narrative was his entire journey towards atonement. And here's the thing, Zuko wasn't even originally supposed to be there. They wanted a more immediate villain, so he was somewhat of a last-minute addition. In the Art of the Animated Series book, Michael Dante DiMartino revealed the plot, revealing that the Fire Lord was the lone major antagonist, sulking on his throne. After that, though, producer Eric Coleman thought, hey, what if we had a young villain chasing Aang in every episode? And presto, that's how Zuko entered the scene. Thus, it wasn't all sunshine and unicorns when creating Avatar. The difficulties they had in the real world forced them to make some adjustments, but the result was an incredible show that we all adore. How strangely things turn up, don't they? You know, the people that made Avatar, The Last Airbender then, it seems that they drew some sinister inspiration for their characters. Considering Admiral Zhao as an example, the man in the background is modeled after Jason Isaacs' character, Colonel Tavington from The Patriot. You know, the guy from Star Trek and Harry Potter? Tavington was a vile man who took pleasure in inflicting casualties wherever he went. He was violent and sadistic. Thus, whom do you suppose they chose while casting Zhao's voice? Indeed, it's none other than Jason Isaacs. One of the show's creators, Michael Dante DiMartino, revealed that he took inspiration from Isaac's terrifying portrayal of the Patriots. He requested someone similar to Isaac from the casting director, and whoa, after a few days, they finally struck gold. Meanwhile, these Avatar creators were all about paying homage to the cultures that served as the show's inspiration. Because Avatar had an anime vibe to it, they wanted to collaborate with a Japanese studio. Now, though, the notion didn't sit well with the Japanese studios. After many unanswered phone calls, we realized that the Japanese studios did not love the idea of doing a co-production with us, DiMartino said. Spilling the tea, but don't worry, the creators persisted. They still obtained the much-desired collaboration, but it wasn't with the Japanese studio. Rather, they teamed up with Tin House, a Korean production company. The Korean animators were granted significant artistic latitude to infuse Avatar with their own unique aesthetic. It's absurd to consider Azula without Grey Griffin's stern voice, you know? They revealed the details, revealing that at first, they considered big-name celebrities for the part. Interestingly, nobody was a good fit. Griffin then had her chance, which she hit perfectly. She claimed that she couldn't find a well-known voice, which is why she was given the opportunity to audition. Fortunate break, huh? The way Griffin portrayed Azula in a unique way is awesome. She wasn't yelling as other people were. She aimed for an intense, controlled vibe. In her opinion, Azula demonstrated her strength without having to yell. And you know what? That strategy, it secured her the job. How about flipping things around? That's all, folks. A collection of untold stories and sources of inspiration that helped create the beloved and well-known Avatar. As they say, creating a legendary show is not without its share of setbacks and unexpected turns. Who would have guessed that one of the greatest animated shows ever could be so heavily influenced by a studio phone call and a villain from The Patriot? Surprises abound in life. To be fair, some fans are still dubious and want to view Avatar, The Last Airbender on Netflix in an entirety before making any final decisions, even though the series does appear to be better than its original live-action version. The internet is receiving an incredible amount of favorable buzz. The characters appear amazing and have ever been slightly enhanced by certain artistic decisions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed watching our content, then do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Comment your thoughts below.